afternoon of real importance and significance for both teams as Palace find their lead whittled to 2 points by Nottingham Forest's brilliant late run. Charlton have slipped to 5th, their lowest of the season, and certainly will be looking to get back on track today. So the referee, Jim Rushton from Stoke. David Pleat alongside me. David, your thoughts about this afternoon?
Looks a good one in the making, Brian, because Palace has scored 58 goals, the highest scorers in the division this season. Charlton, very well organised, only conceded 32. So it should be a fascinating contest. Important one for Palace, important week for them, with Middlesbrough to come midweek.
Palace, if they win, go 5 points clear of Forest, who will then have a game in hand. Charlton, if they win, they go 4th ahead of Millwall, 2 points behind Leicester, with a game in hand. And away we go. Palace then in the red and blue. Charlton in a change strip of white with black shorts. Armstrong, who's got tremendous pace, making a great run, just keeping the ball in play. A throw to Charlton Athletic. Palace have lost only once at home in the league, that to Notts County. They've already beaten Charlton in the Coca-Cola Cup and drawn in the league at the Valley. Also won the away leg at Charlton in the Coca-Cola Cup as well, and they lost there in the Anglo-Italian. So it's the 5th time these two sides have met, and Palace just about have the edge on it as Balmer puts it back to John Vaughan, getting a run in this Charlton side with Mike Salmon injured. He's young, never has any trouble dealing with high balls. Got up well for that one. Coleman hooking it back. Chris Coleman probably been Palace's most consistent player, they say, over the last few months. McCleary doing well under great provocation there from Stewart. And Stewart had words that was quite unnecessary. And Jim Rushton, the referee, telling him to cut that out straight away. Quite right.
So stupid to upset the referee early in the game. I mean, that was unnecessary.
I can't see what Stewart was complaining about. If anybody, it was McCleary who had the complaint.
Yeah. As a young forward at Blackpool and then at Manchester City before Terry Venables converted him at Tottenham, he liked that front-running role, and of course he was a very aggressive player running down the channels. But there's types of aggression.
Free kick to Palace. Interesting, actually, that Alan Smith sees him as a front man and not the midfielder, Paul Stewart.
Yes, it could well be that he's doing a holding job at the moment. Bruce Dyer has been very good this season at Watford, and I'm sure that the transfer of him into the Palace colours will prove to be a very good signing in time.
Walsh could make no headway there. It's Armstrong again. Stewart's in the middle. Rogers come up quickly as well. Looking to get the ball in off Bowery. Stewart again, just playing it in. And a good save by Vaughan from Simon Roger. Got down really well then.
That's an excellent touch by Paul Stewart that gave Roger the opportunity to hit that volley. Here we see a good quality touch by Stewart and a first-time volley.
I think David Pleat's got a theory that the possibility of the playoff is, well, with teams that are way down the table at the moment, even as far as Portsmouth. We'll come on to that in a moment. Armstrong, he is so active. He's onto the left foot, and Vaughan was able to hold it. But he is going to be a constant problem for Charlton Athletic this afternoon. Good technique. Martin's ball. Pardew out jumping Southgate. Mentioned about John Humphrey being a former Charlton player. Of course, Alan Pardew, the midfielder for Charlton, had a great career here at Crystal Palace, the number 15 in the white shirt. See him there. With the throw. Armstrong. Humphrey playing it in towards Roger. It's Pitcher who got back there with the clearance. Pardew versus Southgate. Southgate gets it in. Stewart with a chance. It's over the top. It looked as though, actually it probably looked easier than it was because it was bouncing awkwardly, and look at McCleary's part in it now. McCleary makes a real nuisance to himself, and Stewart puts it over the top.
Good early ball from Southgate. It was a little bit of a hope ball, and after McCleary lunged and missed, it was just too high. Needed the ball to come down a shade more before volleying.
Solarco, haven't seen anything of him yet. In goes Pitcher. Now we're seeing something of Solarco. Taking on Brown, cutting inside well there. Now what's open for him? Stopped in the end by Pardew. Will it come to Stewart? No, Pardew just got there first. Dean Gordon playing it in again. This time it was Balmer with the clearance, the big Scottish defender. Armstrong just having it nicked away again, and Stewart putting it over. I think it was Pardew who got that challenge in on Armstrong. Walsh in there. A vital touch, that one. Rogers' ball intercepted by Brown. A nice little back heel from Robson. Walsh playing it in for Robson again. Walsh holding on to it. Came off Pitcher's head there towards Stewart. Armstrong. This is terrific stuff. Well, he's got a chance for Solarco to get a shot in here. It's just wide of the post. That was a great run by Armstrong, and you just get the feeling that it maybe should have had a better finish from Solarco.
There almost seemed a reluctance to tackle Armstrong as he strode across the face of the box there. But that was a fine effort by Solarco. I can't help feeling that he gives me that little bit of excitement when Solarco gets on the ball. He knows exactly what he's doing here. He takes it across the fullback and he hits it with vicious pace, and there for a foot would be the opening goal.
Again. Stewart waiting in the middle. Just look at the white shirts getting back. Well aware of the danger now. It's a goal kick. Minto having a word with the linesman. Actually, it's given a corner.
Senses when Armstrong's in possession, there's almost a reluctance to challenge him. Now, they've got to get really tight to him and make him play the ball backwards. They mustn't really let him allow them ball to run the ball at him. Once he gets the defender on his heels, there's a great nervousness.
Actually, it's a free kick. There was a foul on Armstrong just as that before that ball crossed the line by Minto. Roger with the free kick, floated in there. Vaughan comes for it, pushes it away. Gary Nelson thought about a back pass, decided against it, which was probably wise. Brown gets it clear, and space now for Pitcher. Robson's in the middle for him. Took a long time deciding. Lieburn's in there too, and Walsh, and a great save by Martin. Super bit of football again.
Yes, good play by Charles, good play by Pitcher, lovely touch by Lieburn, and all things bright and beautiful there. Lovely volley by Walsh, and an excellent save by Martin.
Corner then for Charlton, 0-0. 31 minutes gone. Mark Robson with it, a deeper one this time. Up goes Lieburn again, and hooked away by Southgate, but the whistle had gone. Solarco controlled and killed a beautiful ball, a difficult ball, beautifully there. Gordon to Roger. Gordon again, planting it forward. Armstrong and Solarco after this. It's Armstrong now. Solarco's gone peeling inside. He just clipped off the defender's foot. Out of the way there by the defence. And the referee's given a free kick and wants Steve Brown to come to him. It's a free kick to Crystal Palace in what could be a very dangerous area.
I assume that must be for kicking the ball away there.
Can only be, can't it?
It seems, yeah, it's for kicking the ball away, which in the skirmish almost seems unimportant. Probably get 2 points deducted for that. They all accumulate.
Well, it's Simon Roger behind this free kick, and Jim Rushton wants the Charlton wall, and it's a substantial one. Back a bit further.
I think we can look for Humphrey.
You think? A little touch from Roger for Humphrey coming in. No. In fact, it was McCleary got it away. Barry then knocking it in again, but an offside. Not one, not two, but three Palace players offside.
Yeah, they closed the ball very well, did Charlton there.
Coleman versus Lieber. It's Coleman who's won it. Solarco turning away from Brown, but he's got Pitcher to deal with. Free kick again to Palace. Pulled everybody back. Dean Gordon facing this one. John Vaughan. It's a sight of it, but it's still a long way out. Lieburn going for this one, successfully gets the header. Colin Walsh. And a Palace throw, still 0-0. The last 4 minutes of the first half. Barry. Stewart. Humphrey. Played in for Stewart. And Palace get a corner. Conceded by Scott Minto. Young in there again. Southgate more or less at the near post, looking possibly for a little flick on. They haven't been happy, Palace, with the way they've been delivering the corners the last few games. That's a and Chris Armstrong. No chance there for Vaughan. David?
Well, we spoke about the delivery from set plays, the lovely high curved ball. Armstrong timed his run to perfection, and the little worry we had with Vaughan's ability to cope well in the air and to catch cleanly. He can't come amongst the bodies, and the physical power and the timing of the run of Armstrong has just won the day. They got 5 strong headers of the ball. Young and Coleman, Southgate, who is a converted central defender in midfield, and of course Armstrong and Stewart. And it's often difficult for the opposition to find 5 comfortable at marking.
Now Stewart. Might be another one here. Barry on the far side. Just wide. Bobby Barry very nearly in for his first goal of the season after Stewart looked to be in a good position here. In the end, the ball just nicks off the defender. In comes Barry, the midfielder, and just wide of the far post. Here's Pardew. Lieber. Stopped by Barry. Free kick to Charlton. Right on half-time now. A little bit of time to be added on. One or two injuries in this first 45 minutes. Colin Walsh driving the free kick in towards Colin Lieber. Flicked on. It was Mark Robson who got the touch in there, and Martin who got down quickly.
Well, there's a knockdown. Once again, it's Lieber, an excellent ball, and Robson just didn't get enough power behind it, and Martin covered well.
Walsh. Charlton's throw. Coming up to 2 minutes of time being added on. Nelson being hustled. So the half-time whistle goes. This then leading by 1-0. And away we go. Walsh hitting it long straight away, and Coleman quite happy that they're going to touch for a throw, which Gordon will take for Crystal Palace. Football's full of the haves and the have-nots, even on this pitch here, where Charlton have got, at least Palace rather, have got a £1 million player on the field, Chris Armstrong, and one off the field, an 18-year-old, Bruce Dyer is amongst the subs, and Charlton's side put together for something like £300,000, but that just underlines what a fabulous job Charlton have done this season. There's Bruce Dyer, 18 years old, from youth football almost, springing into £1 million mark. Roger getting it to Humphrey. Here's Armstrong. Keep going on about good movement, but he goes right along that line, causing trouble wherever he goes with that enormous pace of his. And he's won another corner, which can again be a problem for Charlton. Armstrong will be poised again, along with Coleman and Stewart and Young. Southgate on the edge of the box. Selhurst, if anything should drop for him. Roger curling another corner in. It's a good one, floated in again. Keeper in trouble. Charlton in a lot of trouble there. Selhurst twisting and weaving, and right foot cross coming in this time. Pitcher meeting this one though for Charlton. This is Barry chasing the ball into touch.
Well, once again, more problems for Charlton from the corners, and I'm sure Alan Smith will have been saying to Armstrong, get down these channels, force the corners, because they're not happy defending against your power.
The toes just overcome an ankle injury, which caused him to miss the midweek game at Millwall. That's another throw. Southgate shadowing Pardew. Walsh obstructed, a free kick right on the edge of the Palace penalty area, obstructed by Eric Young. Now what will they do here? They'll look, I mean, Lieber obviously will be one target for them. Robson and Walsh, a couple of crafty characters there, trying to conjure up something. Two men in the Palace wall. Brown's in there, Nelson's in there, Lieber, as I say, Balmer's up from the back as well, and Pardew. It's Walsh who's stinked it in, and it's gone in. Has it from Lieber? And the referee has decided no. And Jim Ashton calling somebody to him. Carl Lieber, is it?
Well, the linesman was right on the spot. The viewers have got a better view of that, I think, than any of the spectators. Well, the ball is hidden, but it looks as though he's held it on the line.
And it's the foul given against, I think it was Alan Pardew coming in there. Alan Pardew it was. Old teammates they were at one point. Actually, he's given a goal kick? Can't be a goal kick.
I'm not sure about that one. That must be a push for the original header. But the linesman was on the spot. He was right in line with Martin when he clutched the ball. I would suggest on the line. He got a clean touch on it, and one would have thought that he held it on the line, and the whole ball could not have been over, obviously.
Selhurst. It stays 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Pardew's challenge was acceptable. Roger finds Solako again, streaking forward. Here's Armstrong. Oh, my goodness, what a shot that was. Barry with a shot that cannons off Minto. That was a bullet from Chris Armstrong. And they say Vaughan is a good shot stopper. My goodness, he had to be to get behind that one. What a shot.
Yeah, there was a real fire in that bullet, wasn't there? There was a tremendous power. Really caught it just nice and put all his body weight into it.
Roger curling it in again. And Nelson can bring it away. Being chased by Barry. Pardew. Balmer. Lieber. Brown. It was a strange ball from Lieber, and Brown has tried to make something of it now. Can Robson do likewise? Shadowed there by both Gordon and Young. Oh. Chirpy Chappie's got a thrill out of it. Brown. There's his cross. Pardew with the header. Up goes Armstrong. Here's Stewart. Back again for Armstrong. Will he unleash another one? He has, but it's more dangerous to the advertising boards than it is to John Vaughan.
Paul Stewart is proving a good foil for Armstrong. He's playing very unselfishly. If you see him in this move, look at this lovely touch back. There he is, presenting the leading light in the game for an early shot. And then after he drove it wide, he just put his hand up at the back post there as to say, you could have passed me that ball.
Well, they need the good spirit now to come from behind against Crystal Palace. Humphrey hoisted forward again towards Armstrong, took that nicely on his body, shielded the ball from McCleary, who was just behind him, but then it's Pardew now to Nelson, gets it to Robson. Pardew's made a break on the right-hand side, but Robson goes on his own and into the side netting.
Tremendous credit there to Alan Pardew. He helped Robson conjure a space to have a good shooting opportunity. Unfortunately for Charlton, he hasn't hit it too well. But look at the way Pardew goes on the outside of Dean Gordon and just drifts his concentration and body movement to the outside. He opens up a lovely space for himself. Good unselfish play by Alan Pardew.
A victory for Crystal Palace will put them 5 points clear at the top. Walsh played in for Scott Minto. Robson again, and just as well for Palace, they close that door quickly. John Humphrey getting the challenge in, but Walsh hitting it long again towards Carl Lieber, and down it goes, and across the face of the goal. It needed just a touch from Pardew or from Nelson, who'd scrambled into the box.
Excellent, fast-driven cross by Colin Walsh. He's shown us in the last few minutes a little bit of everything, Colin Walsh. He's been a fine campaigner over the years. He's played it short, he's played it composed. He's beginning to be a real influence. He's the one that's making Charlton play a little bit now. They're coming into the game. I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but at the moment, Palace need that second goal.
Brown. Done by Pardew. Martin. Even trying to hit it out of the keeper's hands there. Big Carl. 13 goals this season, the lad from Lewisham. Balmer loses it in the air. It was again a well-timed challenge by Chris Armstrong. There he is with another header for Bobby Barry. Oh, good ball by Barry. Humphrey, will he get to that line? Now, what sort of cross? Great header again by Armstrong, but straight into the arms of Vaughan. Hopped on by Nelson, but Armstrong shown himself to be a real class act this afternoon, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was good break by Humphrey, and Armstrong wasn't just a flying header, but he took up the right position. He peeled off and he came back. He offered himself to Humphrey for that ball, and he headed it well. Good catch by Vaughan.
Stewart. That was a good ball. Solarco. Gorton is making a terrific run outside him, but he won't get there, in fact, because Solarco's making such strides himself. And a good cross coming in. And Stewart has made it two. A great run by Solarco. And a super cross by the number 11. Stewart gets his second goal during his period on loan at Crystal Palace. Vaughan got a touch to it, but Stewart's header was strong enough. An awkward bounce, a second goal, Palace 2-0.
Yeah, perfect delivery by Solarco. That's the position I was hoping we might get to in the first half.
Humphrey up towards Armstrong. Solarco again on the far side. Another corner. Palace are going to make a substitution in a moment. I heard Alan Smith talking about it. It'll be Paul Stewart, I imagine, coming off, and Bruce Dyer coming on, the 18-year-old, the £1 million player at 18. And Charlton are going to bring Kim Grant on. And taking off Gary Nelson. So Kim Grant is on. But Bruce Dyer not yet on for Crystal Palace. Here comes the corner, Simon Roger. They've been delivering good corners this afternoon. Floating another one in there. But Charlton getting that one clear. Gordon playing it wide. Simon Roger still on that far side. Solarco's outside him. That gives Roger the chance to burst inside. Simon Roger. Good stop. Good shot and a good stop.
That was first class by Roger. Look at the determination as soon as the gap opened up. And it was a good ball across the face of the goal. The slightest mishandle or another yard inside and someone else would have touched it in the net. Good save by Vaughan.
And Bruce Dyer comes on. 18 years old, £1 million player. Paul Stewart getting a great round of applause. Scorer of the second goal, and he's put in some lovely touches today. Stewart on loan here until the end of the month, plus another 3 games, I gather. Humphrey with the throw for Palace. Humphrey. Came off Minto. Another throw. Humphrey. There's his cross. A deep one. Towards Dyer. Solarco. Flag stays down, still in play. No, it's not. But Solarco with the throw. Might hurl another long one here. Although, yes, well, he's hurled one for Gordon. And now Dyer. Well, that was nearly a sensational start for him.
Yeah, that was his first touch. I was looking for the linesman there briefly. I think he's in an offside. Oh, maybe no, I'm wrong. No, it was a chance. Okay. That's a chance, and really that ball's got to go across the face of the goal. He's a little bit hurried, and it's rather wild, and it does go down as a good chance.
Here's Armstrong. Dyer in the middle. Solarco's coming into it as well. Armstrong might get to the line. Oh, my goodness, right across that 6-yard area. There were 3 Crystal Palace players there, and not one of them could get a touch. But again, a riveting piece of play by Chris Armstrong. Dyer. Roger. Southgate's ball nodded away by McCleary. Selhurst. Crossed in again. Oh, again, that man Armstrong is there. Free kick. Palace then a few minutes away from being 5 points clear at the top of the Ainslie Insurance League, 5 points clear of Nottingham Forest. Roger. It's a free kick for Charlton. Let's see what happens here, then we can talk about the man of the match with you, David. It'll be Walsh who takes this free kick. Phil Chappell's poised on this side. Balmer's come up as well. Lieburn's in there, and indeed it was Chappell with a header. And an acrobatic one it was too, and it was only, it skidded no more than 18 inches wide.
Once again, that in-swinging ball, difficult to defend. Clever little flick by Chappell.
Now Dyer. Oh, my goodness, that brought the crowd to their feet, that one. That was a crazy angle, but it was a phenomenal shot by the 18-year-old Bruce Dyer.
Yeah, he's another thruster. He's got the pace there. You see him edge that ball in front of McCleary. Can't quite get there. He takes it another touch. His angle is wide, but didn't he hook that round well and at pace? Fine save by Vaughan.
It's a corner then for Crystal Palace, but just a little glimpse there of the £1 million 18-year-old, and pretty impressive it was. Roger with the corner. And that time it was Chris Coleman. Let's talk about the man of the match, David.
Well, I think all these Eagles have flown high today, but none as high as Chris Armstrong. He soars in the air, he's got terrific pace, and he's a real important cog in the Palace machine at the moment. They've all been confident today. Martin's handled very well. Selhurst, when he's been on the ball, has looked effective, but Armstrong has been the man that's made it happen for them in the most vital area of the field.
Young gets it away for Selhurst. Here's the man of the match, Chris Armstrong. But stopped that time by Vaughan. Thought that was suddenly going to be the most appropriate flourish for the announcement of the man of the match.
I don't think it's a difficult decision today. I mean, it's one of those where he's really been inspiring in some of his work.
Time added on. A lot of Charlton fans will be disheartened. They've had a bad little run, but they've had such difficult away games. I fancy they'll come again. They've got plenty of good home games to come. But 2 games in hand on a lot. And Palace fans will be jubilant. This has been a very good result for them. Kim Grant, no. Martin will get there first. It's been a very good result for them. As David says, they've had that little cutting edge that's just added to so much of their good team play. Referee looking at the watch. It's over. And Palace now find themselves 5 points clear of Nottingham Forest at the top. Forest, though, have a game in hand. An important victory here. Chris Armstrong, the man of the match, with that soaring header in the first half. That set them on their way just before half-time. And then Paul Stewart adding the second.